There's a strong U.S. faction that are backwards and don't want change in the Roman Catholic Church. I mean, how many times can he say it to make it clear for all these goobers? Well, he doesn't mean what you think he means. What he really means is, hey, Jay, he don't mean changing.
I just watched your debate with Eric Yara, and I think at the end, you were talking about the different assumptions between the Catholics and the Orthodox, the different paradigms, and how those paradigms led to Catholic theology. And I was just wondering if you could expand on that and kind of explain that.
Yeah, it's similar to kind of what I was arguing in the Trent debate. So when we had the Trent debate about natural theology, it's kind of an echo of what I was trying to convey to Eric Ibarra in that debate, because one thing I noticed was that the Roman Catholic classical foundationalist, Thomistic, evidentialist approach was what Lofton and Ibarra kept kind of putting forward, which is just this idea that, well, in order to prove something like the papacy, I just stack up all these historical examples and evidences, and if I have a giant enough stack of quote mines and proofs and citations, and it hits the ceiling, then clearly the evidence is like, it's just insurmountably proving, Vatican I. If I stack it all up, if you give me 3 hours to talk in super slow motion to stack up to the roof all these pile up evidences, then see, like, maybe Vatican I's kind of close to what's true or something, right? That's a whole different approach because of their mindset. And what I was trying to convey is that I already know that Lofton and Ibarra don't know anything about tag. They don't know anything about transcendental arguments. They don't know anything about precept. They don't know anything about any of that stuff. So it was difficult to convey to them, and they've still never gotten it, that it doesn't, like, certain problems are so systemic that they can cancel out the whole system. So, for example, Lofton is always arguing that y'all got problems too, dog. Yo, Orthodox, you got problems too. So why you trying to leave, dog? You got problems too. The argument was never, you have problems, we don't. That's so silly. It's a question of, what are the problems? And if the problems are so fundamental and systemic and at a paradigm level, then that cancels out the system. So if the papacy, for example, has dogmatically decreed certain things and then later contradicted that, that would cancel out the papal system. In other words, it wouldn't matter how many more things you pile up in an evidential case. Not saying you can never talk about evidences. It depends on the nature of the thing in question and what you're debating. And if we're debating at a paradigm level the Roman Catholic system and how it operates, and if it has in fact contradicted in a dogmatic way, which I argued in that whole 3-hour discussion that it has, in many places and in many ways, and now everyone hopefully can begin to see this with your boy Francis out here saying, I mean, Francis just helps us out. Every time there's some kind of dispute with the Roman Catholics, this has been happening for like 4 years straight now. Something comes up, some big furor with the Roman Catholics comes up, and then Francis immediately, this is so weird, this never happened. I mean, it's like it's meant to be. I'm not literally saying Francis watches it. He didn't give a crap about what we talk about. What I'm saying is, it's just a weird providential thing that we always get help. Francis helps clarify what he meant and how radically he really meant it. And what did he say the other day? Time to change. Too many trad cats in the Roman Catholic world in America who don't want to change. And that's what he just said the other day. Thank you, Francis. You come to the rescue, because when the Pope-splainers come to try to rescue you, here it is. There's a strong U.S. faction that are backwards and don't want change in the Roman Catholic Church. I mean, how many times can he say it to make it clear for all these goobers? Well, he doesn't mean what you think he means. What he really means is, hey, Jay, he don't mean changing. And then now Ibarra's even having to admit, like, you know, this is hard to do. Yeah, that's what I was telling you like 6 years ago, Eric, when we first started arguing. But I mean, I think Eric Ibarra just lives and moves and talks and thinks in slow motion. I don't think it's his fault. I think he just literally lives in another time-space continuum where everything is moving at like 1/4 speed. Like somebody went into the settings on Eric Ibarra, like in a YouTube video, and put it on 0.25 speed. And Eric has been in that for like the last 6 years. So that's what's going on. But anyway, what I was trying to convey was just that you guys are thinking in a evidentialist, foundationalist way. I'm thinking in a presuppositional, systematic paradigm way. And so why would I sit here and stack up historical quote mines about the papacy when the whole thing can just be toppled like a house of cards by pointing out open contradictions? That was the point.
Appreciate it, Jay. Thanks.
Yeah, great question there. I like to elucidate that because it often is overlooked, especially, you know, anytime you've seen Lofton give replies, you know, his long-winded, unbearable videos are basically just saying, y'all got problems too, look at the EP, yo, look at the EP, dog. I'm just like, who? I mean, if the EP was a pope, that might be a good argument. But in the Orthodox view, you can have EPs be heretics. So what? How does that disprove the view, the system? It doesn't.